welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for watching. Um, and thank you also if you did watch the last video, which was fairly quick for installing Kali Linux. In this video, we're going to focus on implementing backup and recovery, which is extremely important for a multitude of reasons. But we're going to get through a few exercises of viewing the disk allocation information to review storage pool data, and also creating a protection group, which is going to consist of adding members and client computers to that protection group as well to make sure that we're securing the provisioning of resources, understanding and applying the foundational security operations concepts. Let's go ahead and get started with our first exercise. All right, so what we're going to do is now view some disk allocation information to review storage pool data. So we're going to first start initializing the disk for the DPM and organizing and initializing the disk values in the DPM as well. So let's actually actually, I think I'll do this later. Let's see, let's open up the server and then we'll take a look at the disk management here. Where is it? Where the computer management? Then we get to disk management. Right, perfect. So we're actually going to bring this online. Then we're also going to initialize it. Right. Okay. Fine. All right, perfect. And then we're going to do the same thing for disk one as well. Exact same thing online and then initialize this, right? Okay. All right, perfect. So now that we have that taken care of, we're going to actually open up the data protection. Hey, buddy. There we go. All right, perfect. So now that we have that up, I jumped again there a bit from before. So let's actually make sure we're on management here. We want to take a look at our disk. All right, so now we're going to add a new one, right? So now we're just going to select both disks that we've initialized, right? And then you see how it's been converted now, both disks to a dynamic disk, all right? Then that's fine, yes, of course. All right, perfect. So now we see both of them in the DPM storage pool. All right, so we see the name of the disk, the status, the use space, typically from these the unallocated space, protected data, things of that nature, right? But this, now that we have this taken care of, this allows us to move on to our next exercise, which is going to be create a protection group. To illustrate this, we're going to add some members and client computers to a protection group, right? So first, let's start with the protection group naturally, right? So let's see, go here for our protection group. I'm just going to do a new one so we can create it, right? So let's do this. We want to do servers, right? And then let's see, available members. Let's open up the server here. It wants to, and then let's open this up here. And we want to do system state, which is fine. All right, perfect. So, so now since we now have the system state in our selected members option here, we want to move forward. So we can select the type of protection that we want. We're actually going to keep everything as is as far as the short-term protection and the group name and everything. Then we can move forward. Now, as far as our short-term goals, we want to bring this down to 1 day, right? And then we can go to next. Now, for the disk allocation page, this is pretty cool as far as leaving the default, at least for now, for purpose of practice lab, right? So now for this one, we can actually keep the default settings here as well. And let's see, for our consistency, okay, becomes inconsistent, that's fine, right? And we want to create the group. All right, perfect. And then now we can see the status right here. Then it's going to be highlighted here once it's finished. Perfect. All right, so now we can see the newly created group one. And we see there's just a one member for the server that we have there. So now for our next task, we're going to add a member to the protection group, right? So let's make sure we're in protection, right? And that workspace. And then I'm going to select group one here, right? And then we're going to modify, right? All right, so now we see the modify group protection wizard displayed, right? So we're going to pretty much do a similar thing. We're going to open this up here. And then we're going to do all SQL server standard query language, right? And then we're going to select here, right? And system protection, both. All right, so we're going to do both this time instead of we see them in the selected members group as well. All right, so for the short term, we actually want, let's see, actually this is fine. For the short term, we just want 2 days instead of one. All right, okay. And for this one, disk allocation, that's fine. I don't want to really do anything with that. And then we can change this to manual, right? And then this is good. This is fine. Then update group, and then it's going to give us a progress here. And all of them are going to, of course, be successful in just a moment. All right, so we got a success result now officially for all of them. So we can hit close here. Now we can see that the SQL data is now added uh, to our protection group one, right? Everything here is good to go. And now I'm just going to add computers to the protection group, right? So as far as client computers. So now, let's see, with group one selected, just going to hit new here, right? And we're going to do next. And this time, instead of servers, we're going to do clients. We're going to do next here, right? And then I'm going to add this one, right? Next. This is good. This is all right. This is fine as well. All right, we're going to do 1 day with this one too. All right, next. Then allocating storage, we're going to do actually 1 gig instead. All right. Then we're actually going to clear this one out since we lowered the storage. And then we're going to create the group. We'll see the progress naturally here, right? Shouldn't take as long as the prior one. And I also want to note that now that we've gotten the success thing here, now we see another group two, right? For the Win810. I also want to note that the client is not an actual workstation in this lab, it's just shown for illustrative purposes. This is how everything would naturally look in an enterprise environment. But nonetheless, this brings us to the end of the video. Just for a brief recap, for the Microsoft System Center, we created a protection group and we added members to that protection group as well. And on the next video, we'll be looking at the install and verification of Snort, some assistance program, configuring Snort verification, and looking over those results as well. Hope to see you there. Stay curious, stay secure.